Kevin Wayne Steinbach suffered a sudden massive heart attack after playing in a soccer game. In the hours and days that followed, the medical teams at two different hospitals confirmed that the damage to his heart and brain were too severe. After several days on life support, Kevin was declared brain dead on February the 18th. Within 12 hours, a team of surgeons recovered organs and tissue donations from Kevin's body that will provide life and hope to others in need. Kevin is survived by the love of his life, Heather, three beautiful children, Christian, Elena, and Caleb, parents Kurt and Grace, brother Christopher, sister-in-law Danielle, grandmother Elfie Amorazzo, niece Kaylee, and many aunts, uncles, and cousins. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please observe a moment of silence for Kevin Wayne Steinbach. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of God Bless America, performed by the Patterson Park Public Charter School. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please remain standing. Gentlemen, remove your hats. Members of the military and veterans salute. And everyone, place your hand on your heart as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem performed tonight by the Wyden Elementary School Chorus.
From the CQ Arena in Towson, Maryland, MASL Soccer is on the air. Tonight it's Game 2 of the Eastern Division Finals. The Syracuse Silver Knights take on the Baltimore Blast. Gary Stein, along with Paul Mittermeier. We'll hear from Andrew Primrose in a moment. This has been a great series so far, Paul. Game 1 went to the Blast 7-6, but a spirited comeback by Syracuse.
Yeah, pretty dominant performance for the Blast in the first 43 minutes of the game, but got to give the Silver Knights credit in that fourth quarter, really battling back, taking advantage of some opportunities, some real good goal set pieces, and just some good offense that got them back into the game. They just came up a little short, and really, when you get into playoff soccer, it's all about defensively how well you can hold up, and especially we'll see tonight in this arena. You make a mistake defensively here, and you're going to pay.
The Syracuse Silver Knights came up with 2 6-attacker goals late in that game to make it 7-6. We'll talk about that throughout the broadcast. But the big news for the Blast is the status of their goalkeeper, William Vanzella, 2-time goalkeeper of the year and a 3-time MA and MISL champion. For more on that situation, let's head down to the field and check in with Andrew Primrose. Andrew?
Well, thanks, Gary. And I may have been spoiled a little bit by the intros. As you probably noticed, William Vanzella not introduced today. He will not start again after missing several weeks with a groin injury. The Blast had hoped to get him back for this playoff series. They will not have him back tonight. He did warm up with the team, but was unable to go. He will be down, not even dressed tonight, which they had thought maybe they might dress him, but he is an official scratch, not on the roster. In his place, Joey Capino stays on the field. Not a guy that's not used to playing in the playoffs. In fact, he played in the playoffs last season for Ontario. He was 1-2 against the series against San Diego. He had a 1-2 record with a 5.70 goals against average, lost 1-0 in the mini game. For his career, he's played 13 playoff games. He is a winning goaltender in the playoffs, 7-6 with a lifetime 5.73 average, but he's replacing a goalie that's gone 24-7 and won 3 championships in his lifetime. So tall order for him in the Blast. The good news is they're up 1-0 in this series. The bad news is they will have to finish it off without William Vanzella between the pipes.
You know, and guys, here's the thing. It's a tough decision to make. William was in Danny Kelly's office before the game lobbying him. He wanted to warm up and give it a shot, but William's not 100% right now. And he's not 100% physically, and then you've got so many issues that you have to kind of discern as a head coach. One, all right, if I do start William and he's not 100%, if he goes down and I dress a second keeper, what am I saying to Joey Capinos at that point about, what our confidence is in him? So now the other flip side to that is too, do you really want to dress a second goalkeeper? And that's the question. You lose a field player if you dress a second goalkeeper. And Danny Kelly chooses to keep as many field players as possible and start Joey Capinos in goal in Game 2. That was his decision to make, and he's playing the situation where in case his keeper goes down, he has somebody that can step in and play that keeper position. For the Blast, though, we saw that situation when William Vanzella got hurt. Pat Healy stepped in as a defender and kind of played that role, and that was an intriguing game, to say the least, earlier this year here at CQ Arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the officials for tonight's game, brought to you by Maryland Eye Care. The referees are stated to Rich Grady and Brian Miller. Tonight's alternate referee, Michael Renzina. And our fourth official here this evening, Trey Well.
Talk about fundamental, defensive fundamentals. You look at that comeback by Syracuse and the ultimate outcome of the game. In that stretch where Syracuse made that run, they made one mistake where they made a bad pass back to their keeper, and the Blast capitalized to get that 7th goal, and that was ended up being the difference in that game.
Tonight's officials, Rich Grady, Brian Miller, Michael Raitina, and Trey Kell. And we are underway here. Syracuse with the ball first. Capinos gets involved early, and the Blast now with their first possession. Juwan Pereira with some speed past midfield. Ubi Parapovic is on his tail. You'll notice that most, if not all, of the players for the Silver Knights have either dyed their hair blonde or have a streak of red or blonde in their hair, which was the topic of some conversation on broadcasts throughout the league. And of course, it's a team-building exercise as the playoffs begin. We'll see if it gives them some goals or some energy here tonight.
Well, huge
early
mistake by
mistake,
Coughlin early on is he throws it out of play, and it's going to be a top of the arc restart for the Blast.
First good opportunity in this game. We're 32 seconds in. Pat Healy will command it here. Look at the 5 men lining up basically on the line, and covering up on the near post is Coughlin. And that pass intended for Forbes finally does get through, and Forbes' shot is blocked by Healy way up into the second deck, and it'll be a kick in for Syracuse.
Yeah, just another block shot by Pat Healy, right?
He had 6 the other night. He's got 13 in his last 2 playoff games. By the way, with 65, he's the Blast's all-time leader in block shots in the postseason. Healy also leads in assists in MASL playoff history with 18 assists in the Major Arena Soccer League.
Quick ball change here.
Guys, as we get a pause here, the ball switched out. We want to also note a couple players for the Blast. We talked about William Vanzella being out, but John Orlando scratched, aggravated the foot injury that had kept him out for several games in the regular season, and he will be down today. And Elton DeLiviero not playing. He's a healthy scratch today. Coach's decision, as you mentioned, Paul, the Blast had to make the decision to dress the extra player. They went with Mike Diesel and Jonathan Greenfield on the back line, and Elton down for today's game here in street clothes.
The pace of the game on this floor is much different and Syracuse off the boards. Patrick Thompson into the back of the net, and it gives the Knights an early 1-0 lead.
Nice job by Thompson. Nice shot off the boards. Just enough space between Capinos and the middle of the box, and Thompson beats his defender, Tony Donatelli, gets a step on him into the box, and able to finish it to give Syracuse that early 1-0 lead.
51 seconds is the time of the goal. For Tavernisi, he gets the assist. Thompson gets the goal. That's Tavernisi's second assist of the playoffs. Thompson's first goal, and 1-0 Syracuse.
That's a big key early on for Syracuse, getting Joey Tavernisi involved. He was shut out early in that game up in Syracuse, but he's on the board right away with the assist here in Baltimore.
This series has been close throughout. The Blast lead Syracuse 26-6 in the regular season, but most of the games are 1- and 2-goal games. In fact, this year all the games have been 1- and 2-goal games. The Blast won the season series 3-1. 3 of the games by 1 goal, 1 by the Blast, 2 in overtime, and of course the 7-6 win against Syracuse in game 1 of the playoffs. Here's John Mello now in the midfield for the Blast. Mike Diesel getting an early shift, sending one into the corner for Vinny Dantas, who had a couple of goals in game 1. Coughlin.
Early on, Gary, Blast a little bit off with their passing to their targets.
Dantas trying to take on Dominic Vitale. And now sends it back over to DeSantos, who had 3 blocks himself in the opener against the Silver Knights. DeSantos pokes one through the box, perhaps intended for Donatelli. And now Donatelli on the receiving end from Diesel in the corner.
No, Gary, I think that was a shot. I think DeSantos tried to catch Syracuse napping there, and he almost did.
There's Tavernisi trying to slip through, and that one is broken up by Diesel.
Well, and he's a guy that came back in the middle of the season for the Blast and had some injury issues right after he came back, and his physical presence will help on that back line. Him and Jonathan Greenfield, 2 big additions to this Blast defense that was already doing pretty well without them.
We should also mention on that note, Andrew, a healthy scratch tonight, Elton De Oliveira, who did not play in the opener either. They went with Greenfield. And so the Blast with a lot of depth along the back line. Here's Andrew Hoxie with his first touch. Back post, and that one just wide of the goal.
That eluded the back of the net and Tony Donatelli all at the same time.
And I think the goalkeeper may have misread it too, because he was diving towards near post. Hoxie with those big strides taking on the defender Schindler. Ball bounces out towards midfield.
Unfortunately, his right foot was about 5 feet behind his body when he went to try and shoot there.
Tavernisi working hard with Forbes along with Jonathan Greenfield, and the ball squirts out towards midfield. Schindler along the boards now. Nate Bordeaux getting a touch on it. And the Syracuse Silver Knights in control of the ball. They lead it 1-0 about 4 minutes into the game on an early goal from Patrick Thompson. Here's Yelovak, who had 3 points in the opener. That ball squirts out past the arc onto the foot of Juwan Pereira.
Juwan taking on all 5 Silver Knights, alone in the zone.
Here's Mello now. That one blocked out in front by Forbes. Mello and Pereira give the Blast some of the best speed in the league.
Good step in by Mello there in the midfield to win that possession back and get an opportunity.
Here's Dantas at the target with the turn. And the score from outside the arc. Dantas with the turn and the goal, and we're tied at 1.
Now, just like up in Syracuse, Dantas takes over here early on offensively with just a great physical play as he uses his physicality to beat his defender one-on-one. Wins the ball at the target, makes the turn with the right foot, and a blistering shot to the far post to tie this game up.
It's a
For
nutmeg.
Vinny Dantas, that is goal number 3 in this postseason, goal number 16 in his 17th career postseason game. And you'll remember last year, his postseason, he was the MASL Championship MVP, carrying the Blast on his back throughout the playoffs. And the assist goes to John Mello. For Mello, that's his 2nd point this postseason, his 14th career postseason point. Tied at 1, Jamie Thomas with his first touch tonight. Inside the box, doing a good job defensively. DeSantos and Tavernisi now the other way.
Oh, nifty work there by Dos Santos in the corner.
Trying to hold it in was Ubi Parapovic, but the Blast now control. Here's Thomas setting up Donatelli. That one blocked out in front by Vitali.
Great hustle by Jamie Thomas not to give up defensively in the offensive end. Created that turnover, and the Blast almost capitalized on it.
And this one over the boards, it should be a legal procedure against Syracuse.
Well,
They call kicking.
Say deflection. It's probably the right call in that situation.
Mello will be on it for the Blast. Assessing his options, puts one towards goal. Ubi Parapovic with the block out in front. Here come the Silver Knights the other way. Jeremy Raley with a touch in midfield. Raley working with Yelovak. This Syracuse team, the core of the team, has been together pretty much for all 7 seasons, either 6 or 7. You've got Yelovak, Ubi, Forbes, Tavernisi has come of late, actually. Darren Toby was an original. And they're getting good contributions this year from young players. Ben Rahman, Liam Callahan have done a good job. It's a well-rounded team. They finished 12-8 on the year. Correction, 13-9 on the year. A goal kick coming up for Capinos. Blast, of course, finished 17-5, and they'll have home field throughout the Eastern Conference playoffs.
And playing today for the right to face Milwaukee.
Correct. Milwaukee has beaten Cedar Rapids 2-0.
Milwaukee,
they beat them the other night 9-8, today 8-7.
If the Blast win today, the Milwaukee will come here. But if Syracuse wins this game, then Syracuse will head to Milwaukee.
Should the Blast advance, game will be Friday night the 16th, right here at the CQ Arena at 7:35.
For Syracuse, the big challenge here today. We've seen the Blast do it, though. Syracuse needs to win this game and then pull off the win in the mini game as well.
Not impossible. The Blast did it a couple of times last year. Remember, they lost to Harrisburg in the division final in Baltimore in game 1. Came back and went to Harrisburg and won games 2 and 3. And they did the same thing against Sonora, losing game 1 in Baltimore, then going out Mexico and beating Soles de Sonora games 2 and 3. Here's Ben Rahman towards the goal, covering up on the near post, Capinos. Blast now with a chance. Here's Diesel, couldn't settle it cleanly, and it gave the Silver Knights a chance to get back.
That's a nice defensive job by Parapovic.
Just wide, Dantas on a one-touch. The deflection by Dantas, and it hits the side of the post. Dantas again, towards the goal, back post! Thomas couldn't get a good foot on it. 3 good chances for the Blast. Headed in by the Diesel, and kept inside the Syracuse zone. Here's Healy with Forbes.
That's going to be a foul on Forbes on the push as he forced Healy into the boards. A couple of real good changes by the Blast right by along the bench, able to create some turnovers there and create some opportunities.
What a frenzy.
Delay warning on Syracuse.
Encroachment warning, Syracuse.
Dantas inside the box for Healy.
You guys could see that on that angle, but Ubi Parapovic, before the ball was kicked, ran forward 3 steps.
Diesel, good work. Passing off the boards to himself. Healy with a drive, that one wide, rebound from Dantas with a header. And Coughlin makes the save.
Good composure by Coughlin. He didn't panic there. He was able just to be in good position and make that save on the header.
There's pressure from the Blast, and the Syracuse Silver Knights break it well. Nice step in there for Syracuse along the boards. Thompson inside for Schindler, and getting over in time was the Diesel to make a block.
And blocks that into the crowd, so to be a restart for Syracuse when we come back from the break.
Lucky break for the Blast there. Syracuse was going to try and restart, and the Blast were in the middle of a substitution, so the Blast lucked out with the officials' timeout.
Nothing feels better than when my Megabank treats me like a number.
Burned out by poor Megabank service? Life's better when you seek you. With a smile. With a friend. Any way you need. And wherever life takes you. So, do you seek you?
Nothing feels better than when my
Stepping into the unknown, it can be difficult to find the way. But with the compassion and strength of a name and the security of the cross and shield, obstacles become openings. As we have for more than 75 years, we'll continue to light the way, using our knowledge to create new healthcare solutions, giving you the power to shine forward to whatever awaits tomorrow. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. Live fearless.
Back at you here with 7:08 to play in the first quarter. Blast and the Silver Knights tied at 1. Game 2 of the Eastern Division Finals. Here's the free kick for Syracuse, defended by the Blast. Up ahead now for Donatelli with a left foot. He had a defender right on him, and the play is made by Coughlin.
Toby was literally right on him as he climbed up him like a ladder.
That time, Toby just did a nice enough job to do enough to impede him and not commit a foul.
Tavernisi taking a shot from about 20 yards out. And the save by Capinos, and now a whistle. And a foul called in the corner.
Now they're going to call foul on Capinos from all the way down the other end of the field.
Rich Grady made the call here.
Well, he made the call from right next to the Syracuse bench, while the other referee was directly on top of the ball.
Free kick for Bordeaux. Callahan with a header. And Syracuse will maintain possession. Here's Forbes with the left now inside the yellow line. And this one will be a goal kick for Capinos. The Blast would like to thank Meter USA for providing today's match balls. Meter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production in the year 1817. Meter is a proud partner of Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. Greenfield couldn't control that one. Mello in the midfield. That one's taken away. Here's Vitale. Taken away by Dantas. 2-on-3 the other way. Vitale doesn't give up. Breaks up the momentum for the blast, and Pereira hits it over the crossbar.
Well, Jawan just missing there.
Taken away by Pereira as Yelovak goes down midfield. No call. Patrick Thompson closing fast, and Mello elects to play it back to the midfield for DeSantos.
Again, Bo fortunate he stopped playing. Wanted a foul, he stopped playing. That's a push. And he stands over.
And that is Yelovak giving it back to Pereira, who had just given it to him. So let's watch that as we move forward.
Put the hip into him.
Diesel keeps it alive. Donatelli with a one-touch.
Blast are definitely buzzing around in the offensive end.
Here's a chance now. Hoxie, good play by Coughlin, sneaking that one out. Hoxie lifts it over the keeper, and Coughlin makes the play with his right arm. And let's see which way this one goes. Looks like it'll be off the blast. Kick in Syracuse at the blast yellow line here on the near side. And Tavernisi gets tangled up inside with Healy. Capinos makes the play. Here's Thomas on a run. Pushed into the boards by Yelovak.
A good physical effort by Thomas to keep it alive and win the ball. That would have been a foul if he would not have won the ball, but the referees let him play on.
Thomas with Tavernisi now at the turn. Looks like that one bounced off someone's head. Hoxie trying to track that one. Toby now worked over by Thomas. By Donatelli, I should say. And
Good
they finally
clear.
do clear,
Yeah,
yes.
good clear.
Here's Daniel Peruzzi with his first shift. Had a couple of goals in game one against Syracuse.
He used just individual effort and the ability to take his defender on one-on-one for a couple of big goals for the Blast.
There's Nelson Santana at the target position for a shift. And Santana is spilled in the corner by Syracuse. It'll be a free kick for the Blast. Darren Toby on the defense. 3:52 left in the first. We're tied at 1. Game 2 of the Eastern Division Finals. Milwaukee has already advanced to the conference finals. San Diego has advanced in the West. And the winner of Sonora Monterey will get played out tonight. Shot taken by Mello, broken up by Syracuse. Logan Roberts with the block.
Blast doing a good job of moving the ball, one-touch soccer.
You started mentioning the scores for all the playoff games around the league, Gary, and it's been a great slate of first-round action.
Rayleigh inside the box, a rebound for Santana. And Syracuse equal to the task.
Great play by Coughlin there, again, from the keeper position.
Mello holds it in, nice footwork. Mello's got a man, DeSantos, save Coughlin. Oh, nice defense here. Peruzzi, the left, save Coughlin.
A nice read by Jawan off the bench to win that ball back as there was a late change for the Blast. It's a dangerous situation. If you lose the ball there, you're probably giving up a scoring chance in this building.
Blast forced to play it back. Usually not a good idea in this building.
That should be illegal procedure.
Should be inside the yellow line. Yes, it is.
Tough break for Canardo Forbes as he came over in a nice defensive play, but he was just inside the yellow line.
Blast will have their second restart opportunity, top of the box. 2:32 remaining in the first.
Look at Vinny Dantas here, lurking back at the yellow line. You run onto this one. He's got a wide open corner of the net here.
Here it is for Vinny.
Oh,
Back post off a defender. Kick in blast from midfield.
Vitale saved the goal.
he really did. That was a great line, and Vinny had a great shot on that on the open corner of the net. And rear end stuck out and keeps the Blast tied.
Here's Dantas trying to turn on the boards.
A great job by forwards going one-on-one there with the bigger man.
Biggest thing you have to learn playing here, and the Blast have learned it very quickly. You just got to stay in front of your player and compact your defense so that you make blocks on goal. And Syracuse has done a great job of that here, coming to this building and playing great defense here in this first quarter.
2:14 to play in the first. Dantas on the receiving end here. Tries to poke one in with the side of the foot. That's blocked by Toby. More pressure from the Blast. Donatelli will pursue. Vitale now will play it back to Coughlin. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first. Here's Yelovak now with Healy on a run. Off the boards, no one in particular there for Syracuse. Played out towards midfield. Thompson now. Stolen away by Dantas. Too far, though, and Vitale there for the Silver Knights.
Crowd riled up as Bo Yelovak and Pat Healy got into it. Off the ball.
Here's Schindler now with the left. That's headed away by the Diesel. Play is getting very physical here. Thompson gets called for the foul. Going down hard is Pereira. So that's Pereira now who's gone hard with Thompson and with Yelovak. 3 lines against Healy.
Another one of those situations where
Ball didn't go six
inches off the floor, but it travels 3 lines, which is a very short distance.
And now Rich Grady coming here to the near side, talking it over with the 4th official.
Andrew, was Syracuse questioning the change from the bench?
Substitution? Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
But I think they were saying was the substitution happened before the ball went 3 lines, right?
I mean, I think that's what it was clearly called, is that they had changed before. They didn't change after the.
Oxy trying to take a shot with the left. That one blocked by the Syracuse defense. Here comes Yelovak the other way with Donatelli. Diesel sends it out towards Ubi at midfield for the Silver Knights.
Man, Diesel's been playing real well on the defensive end so far.
Very
that was
aggressive.
something that was missing early in the season from this team, and his physical presence stepped up.
Schindler trying to run one through. Hoxie gives chase here on the near side, keeps it alive in front of Ubi Parapovic. Hoxie getting free, and the blue card is out. 2 minutes on Syracuse.
I think Syracuse has been much too aggressive with the pressure and the Blast. Here's another instance here. The Blast, they're pressuring to try to make the steal, but nobody plays defensively sound, and Hoxie goes around both defenders towards the goal and gets taken down and gets tripped. And we'll see the power play here for the Blast. That's the 2nd or 3rd time this quarter that the Syracuse, they've just been too aggressive along the boards trying to pressure the Blast backwards, and the Blast has made a quick move forward to beat 1 or 2 defenders.
Oh, a great individual effort by Andrew Hoxie there to win that ball, to create that mismatch.
Back post, Dantas just missed it. Here's Healy now up top. Blast have the 3rd-ranked power play unit in the league. Syracuse number 11 on the penalty kill out of 16. Blast have 20 power play goals on the year, 7 from Donatelli, 7 from Dantas.
Man, I don't know. I'd like to see that one, as it looked like he didn't get a piece of Thompson at all, and Thompson just anticipated the collision and dove. Either way, it doesn't cost the Blast much in the way of time.
Now one last opportunity here, and really tough to kill time penalty-wise in this arena.
6 seconds to play in the period. Blast, if they don't convert, and this one will be out of bounds, they'll have about 1:18 remaining on the power play as we move into the 2nd period. 2.5 seconds left here. They'll play it back to the goalkeeper, and that'll do it. After one period of play, the Eastern Division Final, Game 2, Blast won, the Knights won. Back to the CQ Arena right after this.
It's a great time to be a fan when you can come into Buffalo Wild Wings and catch the best moments in sports. Unlike in Roman times, when you could become the sport.
Is this section G?
I don't know.
I don't know. Uh-oh. Ow.
Get the ultimate sports experience at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, Don, what's going on?
Jack, you haven't heard, the new building's done. It's beautiful. We moved in, and to celebrate this month, every car is posted on the internet at invoice. You keep the rebates, and we give you 125% of Kelly Blue Book. In addition, free loaner cars, car washes, manicures for the ladies, indoor patios, outdoor patios. What could be better?
Jack says yes to invoice pricing on Corollas. Jack says yes to invoice pricing on RAV4s. Jack says yes to invoice pricing on Camrys.
Yes!
Visit Antwerpen Toyota today.
Back at you here from the CQ Arena. The Knights and the Blast tied at 1 after the first period of play. Syracuse scored first. Patrick Thompson from Joey Tavernisi in the first minute of play. Blast then tied it up on a goal from Dantas. The assist to Mello. Slavica Ubi-Parapovic with a penalty late in the first quarter. And the Blast now will have 1:17 to go on the power play here as we begin our second quarter. What's going on?
PJ Wakefield in the house. PJ, a happy camper today. His alma mater, UMBC, going to the big dance, finding out where their fate will be in the NCAA tournament coming up tonight.
What a great moment for UMBC basketball yesterday. 65-62 over Vermont on the last-second buzzer beater three-pointer by Jaroslaws. Yep, they'll find out their fate in what, about 15 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, quarter number 1. Your assessment so far?
Real good match. Both teams playing hard. Both teams playing pretty solid defense. I think the Blast had maybe a little bit of an edge in the run of play in that first quarter, but Coughlin was very good in goal for Syracuse in that first quarter of play. So we'll see how things carry over. Big penalty kill here for Syracuse here to start the second quarter. About 1:17 left to kill off.
Andrew, what about your perspective downstairs?
That was a little technical difficulties there. It's been a physical first quarter. I mean, you saw the game in Syracuse get a little chippy there towards the end, and that's picked up right here. So for the Blast, keeping their composure, as you saw the Syracuse picking up the foul there. Ubi Parapovic has been involved in a couple times. Bo Yelovac and Pat Healy have gone at it a couple times. So for the Blast, it's about keeping composure as Syracuse playing for their playoff lives right now. And so this game is going to get even chippier.
Blast on the power play here to start the second quarter. Oh, Coughlin again on a well-meant drive by Mello.
That's a smart play by Mello. Donatelli has a decoy in the corner. Coughlin wasn't having any of that. No, it was right there to make that save parried over the boards.
Corner kick near side for Healy now. 1:06 on the power play for the Blast. Dantas trying to slip one through.
Oh, that's a nice ball into the corner by Pat Healy. Didn't go out of play.
Here's Healy now at the yellow line with 45 seconds left on the power play. Donatelli with Dantas on the back post. It'll be a goal kick for Coughlin.
Dantas on the back post. Santos not happy in the middle of the box either.
Well, and it was actually on Pat Healy as he made the pass. He just put it up a little bit.
This one will be off the Blast. Free kick, Syracuse.
I was saying the pass that came in from Pat Healy had a little bounce to it, and that's why Donatelli got underneath of it. He was mad with himself after.
13 shots for Syracuse in the first quarter. The Blast had 8.
22 seconds, last chance for the Blast on the power play.
Blast knocking it around at the yellow line. 10 seconds now. Mello right up top. Here comes Ubi out of the box. Teams are at even strength. And Ubi gets right into the play with Donatelli. Healy off the board.
Oh, handball.
No
Wow.
call. As Toby was involved there.
Wow.
There's Forbes now breaking free from Healy on the back post, and that one deflected away by DeSantos.
Dos Santos pulled that one out of the goal.
Forbes working hard with Donatelli on the near side. Great match so far between these two teams, as they've been all year long. Yelovak couldn't get good pace on that ball off the boards, and Capinos comes to the top of the box. There's pressure now from Syracuse.
Nice ball.
Hoxie, good back heel. Peruzzi lines it up towards the goal. Coughlin with a chest save. Rebound, blocked off the back line. Hoxie had a chance, and Ubi pushed it away.
Well, Hoxie was just trying to keep it on target because he thought he had an open net, and all of a sudden, the Syracuse defense came to the rescue and made the play.
Oh, a save by Capinos out in front. Bordeaux.
That's a foul.
The shot was taken by Logan Roberts, and Capinos point blank stoned him.
And that was all reaction, as he didn't have time to see the ball until it was on him. Tremendous athleticism from Capinos.
Both goalkeepers, the stars of the game so far. Bordeaux has a chance off the boards.
Rayleigh's got to run along the boards if Hoxie can find him. Instead, he pulls it back, and the Blast will sub out.
Pereira now towards the middle of the field. Gives it off to DeSantos. Greenfield and Vitale. Back to Capinos, and they'll pressure that. And it's broken up. Yelovak quickly up ahead to Bordeaux, and he's taken down. A 2-minute card on Pereira.
Let's take a look. Definitely a penalty there, as Capinos makes the error, and Syracuse takes advantage, goes on the power play.
2 minutes for tripping on Pereira. Time of the penalty, 3:14 of the second. On the power play, Syracuse 12th out of 16 in the league, 12 of 34. On the penalty kill, Blast number 4, 69% success. And they're big scorers on the power play. Ubi with 3, Bordeaux with a pair, Tavernisi with 3. Syracuse with the man advantage here, 1:40 left on the power play. The penalty killers for the Blast, Greenfield, Healy, Donatelli, and Mello. Yelovak worked on with Greenfield. Here's Schindler the other way for Syracuse.
You see Jonathan Mello on this penalty kill for the Blast.
This one broken up by Donatelli.
Such an underrated player. Such a great midfielder. He's the key to the Blast, breaking out of their own end with that center position in the midfield. Kills penalties, scores goals, plays great defense. He's really developed into an amazing midfielder.
And he's been great in the postseason, 9 goals in 22 career games. And here's Mello leading it the other way. Up ahead for Donatelli, 1-on-2. And Syracuse gets back with 45 seconds left on the man advantage.
You gotta be careful. You know, short field, great scoring opportunities as well from a short-handed perspective.
Mello breaking it out for Healy, too strong. 30 seconds remaining. Here's Forbes the other way. Dump it quickly in the corner for Yelovak. Near side, Schindler. Kicked away by Donatelli, 10 seconds to go. Ubi with a drive, Capinos to the turf and makes a save. You know, we talked about, and now a timeout called, and we'll keep it here with 9:45 left.
Smart plays. Capinos ran the 5 seconds out and was able to kill the penalty and call timeout.
You know, we talk, guys, both Andrew and Paul, about Vanzella not available, at least for tonight. We'll see what happens if and when the Blast advance. But, you know, the Blast, no stranger to not having stars available to them in the playoffs. Lucas Roque not in uniform either for the Blast. They lost him in the middle of the year. They've had playoffs without Dantas before. They have survived. They figured out a way.
Well, they won a championship without their starting goalkeeper, Sagu.
That is correct.
You know,
way back in the day.
Way back in the day. And, yeah, so you just have to, next man up, obviously, we always talk about that philosophy, but you have to have guys that you can plug in, that you can depend on when other guys go down. And, you know, maybe you're not as good, maybe you're not as big a star or as good a player as that next guy that is in front of you, but, you know, you buy into the team concept, you do what you can to help the team win, and a lot of times those little plays that you might make, maybe you don't score a goal, but maybe you win a ball on the boards, maybe you play good defense, maybe you pull a ball off the line, those things win games.
We'll take a timeout here with 9:45 left in the first half, tied up at 1. Back to the action here with the Blast having killed the penalty with 9:05 now left in the half. Game still tied at 1.
See if that penalty kill changes momentum.
So neither team has been able to capitalize. They both had one opportunity on the power play. Here's Yelovak now with Dos Santos in the corner. Raymond with the ball for Syracuse. Trying to work it around on the far side. That one blocked by Dantas. Headed back in by Raymond. Correction by Vitale. Good ball movement here by the Silver Knights.
Well, they've really stepped up and done a nice job possessing the ball here in the second quarter.
A lot of the play has been in the Blast end.
That's a deflected 3-line violation.
Wow.
I mean, they should look at that, right?
Right, it wasn't intentional.
Right, it was a block. The ball wasn't directed anywhere. It was a block, and it went over 3 lines.
Well, it gives the Silver Knights a chance here on the restart, yellow line.
Well, unlike the illegal or the restart, it doesn't matter what the intent was of the pass. If it goes 3 lines, no matter how it goes back there in the air.
I understand.
So that was, well, the Blast didn't understand. That was the funny part, is they were arguing it was a block, and they said, yeah, it was a block. I agree.
Ubi with a drive.
I'm just saying they should look at the rule.
Well, if now that there's several arenas of this size, they might have to.
Peruzzi trying to break out. Good ball to Santos. Lines it up. Back post a little too high for Hoxie. And Hoxie's tall.
And it was going for the header there on the back post, and just about 6 inches, a foot too high. It's the second or third time that Donatelli has stolen the distribution pass.
Oh, and he was running 5 seconds before that ball was thrown right to the space where it was going to be. It's like a free safety in football, anticipating the throw and going to make the interception. As he broke on that, knew where it was going and was ready for it.
The most dangerous position in this building as a defender is that turn. Teams W up there, and it's really tough to make a play.
Dantas leaving it for Healy off the boards. Back to Vinny Dantas. And that one wide of the mark. It'll be a goal kick for Coughlin.
Just a bit behind, yeah, just a bit behind him there.
I think Pat and Vinny have done that a time or two before, huh?
It's possible. Toby slips by Hoxie midfield. Ball up ahead for Thompson, cut off by Pereira. Three-on-three, Pereira, but Thompson comes back quickly.
That's just good soccer right there in tight quarters by the Blast.
Here's Coughlin now at the 6-minute mark here of the second. Still tied at 1.
I wonder too if Donatelli with those steals has put a little bit of doubt into the mind of Coughlin with his distributions.
Donatelli now plays it back to Capinos. Syracuse will pressure this.
Here's Mello again. He's going to set up shop in the middle of the midfield.
Here's Rayleigh. All the way! Saved by Coughlin. Broken up by Rayleigh. 3-on-2. Another save. Rebound. Score! Thomas on the rebound. The Blast lead 2-1.
Double team at the yellow line. Santana was huge there. Creates the turnover that leads to the Blast 2-on-1. And Coughlin able to make that first save, but the rebound comes out, and Thomas buries it for the Blast to give them the lead.
Blast first lead of the night. Goal comes at the 9:32 mark of the second.
That's so tough on Coughlin too, because Toby deflected that shot, and that's why Coughlin couldn't get a good grip on it and make the save. And then it comes right out to Jamie Thomas, who puts it home.
Jamie Thomas gets his first career playoff goal, his second career playoff point in 2 games. And Rayleigh gets the assist. He's got 2 points in the playoffs. And the Blast continue to get even distribution among their scorers, not only in the regular season, but in the postseason as well. Just over 5 minutes left to go in the half. And that'll be off the Blast.
It was going to be close to whether it was going to be 3 lines or illegal procedure, and the ball faded and went right out of play just before the yellow line.
Top of the box here for Ubi Parapovic. And that one not ruled a goal. It came in under the crossbar and out.
We'll see if they review this. In the playoffs, you can review the goals.
Here's Forbes the other way. No one seemed to argue either way. Healy gives that one back to Forbes.
It's so difficult sometimes on these goals to kind of see whether it goes under the bar or off of the bar.
Well, I mean, if it hits any part of the top bar and then comes down, if it doesn't come down in the goal, by definition, it's not in the goal if it hits the crossbar. I mean, it would have had to hit all net.
Correct,
then.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So, I mean, knowing that, but then the question was, when it came back down, it was pretty close.
Foul called on Tavernisi as he took down the Diesel. Free kick Blast from deep in their own end. Pereira winning a ball in front of Toby. Now Bordeaux comes along for some help. Oh, dangerous play here. The ball will squirt out towards Dantas.
Huge tackle by Vitali there.
Here's Vitali again, crossing for Forbes. A little bit too strong. Cabrera and Mello on the far side, and he'll clear it.
A smart play by Mello. You're along your own boards, in your own zone, just kick it out. Make the safe play. How many times have we seen guys turn the ball over there? We saw that on the Thomas goal. He turned the ball over the yellow line and leads to a great opportunity.
That's kneed out of danger by Healy. Coming up on the 3-minute mark now, the first half. Another close encounter with the Syracuse Silver Knights.
I'm shocked. Never saw this coming.
Healy will send it along the boards. Hoxie will inspect.
You know, one of the other things that's interesting. Oh,
Coughlin in trouble now, and the ball is loose. And this will result in a turnover and a chance for the Blast.
Has to be top of the arc, right?
Yeah, I believe so. No, they're going to call a kick in.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Watch Santana on the back post, a little too high.
And watch the direct kick on goal as Donatelli almost scored from there.
Nice ball, Greenfield, top of the glass for Donatelli, who saves it.
Game of inches.
So it was ruled a deflection there. That was the ruling was that it was a deflection and not.
Okay. But if the ball was deflected, shouldn't it have been Syracuse ball?
I think they were saying it was deflected by the Syracuse. It wasn't a kick. It was a deflection.
I understand.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. But
Capinos gives it up to Coughlin.
that is one where it is a judgment call, and we've seen a couple ones that have gone the other way that we haven't agreed with either. So, tough one for sure.
Booby at the yellow line, picked up by Greenfield. 1:50 to play in the half.
I think the quality of officiating always improves the less objective or subjective calls you have to make. Somebody's always going to be unhappy when you have to make a subjective call. I think officiating is always easier when it's an objective. Did this happen or did it not happen? Not the intent, not the thought process behind it. Anytime you have to interpret that, you're getting into human element, and that's tough.
Battle of the 28s in the corner, won by Schindler. Now the Diesel stepping in. Here's Thomas with the left. Thomas.
Great play by Coughlin. Won't count as a save, but he saved a goal.
And a foul called on Dantas in the midfield.
So
1:15 remaining in the half.
Syracuse a little out of sorts. Schindler tried to get a delay game call on Thomas, but Thomas was being talked to by the official. He called him over, and then he tried to restart while the conversation was going on, so the official let it go.
Running onto it is Vitale. That one blocked by the Blast. Less than a minute to go.
Here we are again. Short field, small arena, 2-1 game headed towards halftime.
Been there, done that.
Going to be joined by Soccer Sam at halftime.
Yeah, saw him in the before the game. Looking dapper as usual with those signature white glasses. Great performances from both Coughlin and Capinos tonight here in game 2. Won by the Blast. Here is Dos Santos, broken up.
A good defensive play there. Another turnover at the yellow line, and if Syracuse is going to turn the ball over there, it's going to be a long night.
Ben Raymond made the stop. It'll be a kick-in Blast from the near corner. 28 seconds left to go in the half. Mello on it for the Blast. Lets it play through. Here's Peruzzi. Blocked by Toby. 20 seconds left. Now they have a chance. Thompson coming in on goal. And the save by Capinos. 10 seconds left. Thompson again. Back post. No one there. 5 seconds left. Hoxie maybe with a chance. And that is the end of a very exciting first half here in Baltimore.
That's the only goal of the second quarter has them in the lead as we head to the locker room.
2-1 Blast on the strength of a Jamie Thomas goal in the second quarter. Both teams had power play opportunities and neither could capitalize. We'll take a timeout and come back with our halftime show. Our score at the break, Blast 2, Syracuse 1.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Back at you here at halftime from CQ Arena. The Blast and the Syracuse Silver Knights, game 2 of the Eastern Division Final. Blast on top of Syracuse 2-1. Syracuse broke out on top early on a goal from Patrick Thompson at the 51-second mark of the first quarter. Dantas tied it up for the Blast about 4 minutes later, and then Jamie Thomas broke the tie at 2-1 now. Blast leading at the half. Gary Stein, Paul Mittermeier back with you. Shots in the first half, Blast 24 and Syracuse 14. And it's a pleasure to be joined by, and everybody's going to know him when we hear him. I don't even have to introduce him to you. But Soccer Sam is in the house tonight, and he's joining us here on the broadcast. First of all, welcome back to Baltimore. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is the nicest soccer arena in the country. I love this place.
Well, I was going to ask you, because the last time you were here, I'm sure, we were down at the Baltimore Arena, which was great. The Blast played there for 38 years. But what do you think when you come into a brand new building like this?
I think every owner in the league should come here and check this place out. I mean, if you're a parent, your kid can run around. You can see where they're at all times. The sight lines are amazing. And on TV, when I watch you guys and listen to you guys, you don't realize how big this place is and how many people are in here. This place is jam-packed, but people are just walking around all the time.
Absolutely.
It's very cool, Sam. Give me your thoughts on the first half. What'd you think? I mean, we always come here. We were like thinking about what it would be like to play in a small field like Sonora, and most of the time we're up there at halftime looking at 2-1 or 3-2. It's just crazy how few goals are scored in the compact size of the field.
That's what's shocking to me. It's so small, but it's so exciting, and like your heart's beating all the time. But I'm surprised that we're not getting more goals. But both teams are playing tough. They know how to play the defense right, and I'm just excited. I mean, guys, you guys have the best production, probably in American soccer, man. I watched some MLS games last night. You guys put them to shame. This arena is the place to be. I was with the Rhinos in 95 through 2005, 96 through 2005. This reminded me of Frontier Field, where people could walk around, have a hot dog, have a beer, watch the game. This is what soccer in America needs. Wichita was similar, and I thought years ago we should build an arena in Rochester like Wichita. You guys have built it here, and I know all the people watching in Syracuse at Woody's, all the people watching in Rochester, New York, at all the Salvatore locations. You guys got to know, this place is the place to come. If there's a next game here, if Milwaukee ends up coming here, what is it, next Friday night?
Friday night, yep.
Everyone in Rochester and Syracuse, you got to come down here and check out this place.
All right, so you bring up Rochester. We got to ask you the question.
Oh, no.
Well, first of all, we miss you. Okay, that's first of all. We miss the Lancers. We miss your personality. It's not that you're not around, because you are, but we miss you in this league. The big question, will you be able to bring it back to Rochester?
Can we, if Phil Salvaggio in San Diego fixes the insurance issue that he told me he's working on, maybe. It's an insurance issue. We can't afford $300,000 a year for workman's comp. In New York State, we have this governor. If he runs for president, please don't vote for him.
Oh.
But we have the worst governor in the country in New York State, and that's part of our problem, the way the whole New York State insurance fund works. If we can fix that, we would be back. But if our mayor's listening right now, Mayor Lovely Warren, we need a facility like this in Rochester, New York. I'm telling you, we do.
Soccer Sam, I have to ask you because I love getting your opinions. Thoughts on the video replay system in the playoffs? Is it a good thing? Is it working towards getting better? What are your thoughts?
I mean, Joshua Schaub's going to hate me for saying this. Get rid of it. The game's got to be quick. Get rid of the timeouts. You have one timeout at the last quarter of the game. That's all you need per team. This game, the beauty of this game is quickness. You go to an NFL game. I mean, I celebrated 2 birthdays once at an NFL game. I mean, this place is so quick. I mean, this is what you want. This sport needs to be fast. 2 hours in and out, home, out to movies, out to dinner with the family.
Soccer Sam joining us here at the half. Gary Stein, Paul Mittermeier, Andrew Primrose. Blast lead the Silver Knights 2-1. Soccer Sam, take us back. Where did your love of soccer come from in the first place?
Rochester Lancers in 1970, outdoor soccer. Buffalo Blizzard during the 90s of indoor soccer. I followed in indoor soccer. I went to the first ever indoor match in America at the War Memorial. The Rochester Lancers were part of the NASL. They were testing indoor soccer, and I just thought this is the future of this game. I still think it's the future of this game. I don't care what anyone says. I watch outdoor soccer. I can't get into it, man. I don't want to put the game down, but indoor is the future of this game.
Well, I mean,
arena. I'm sorry.
No, well, look, it like captivates the American audience because it's got a lot of scoring, it's fast, and it's physical, and I think that sums up what American sports fans want. It's amazing. It's an amazing product to watch.
The music's happening. I mean, like I said earlier, parents are watching their kids run around. I'm watching the dancers run around.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is the place to be, the place to be seen. I got to come back next year.
So let me ask you,
Yes.
having the games online is fantastic. We don't, obviously no complaints. But getting the sport on TV, cable TV, over-the-air TV, whatever it is, it's got to happen. Because without that, it's not considered a major league, etc. So let me ask you, what would be the key to that? What are some ongoing, if there are, discussions with being able to broadcast this sport as opposed to narrowcast this sport?
Well, I think the league's working on that, but I think the narrowcast, the YouTube, is the future of television.
Really? Okay.
I think this phone right here is the future of what we're watching. And I think the issue is, how do you get the mainstream media to cover our sport?
Okay.
You saw what happened when they were covering the women's national team. It exploded. They're on Letterman. They're on Leno. I mean, that's what we need. We need to figure out a way to get these players at the American Music Awards, on The Voice, on Dancing with the Stars, create stars in this sport. That's what we need. And then we'll get the mainstream media to follow us.
It's so funny because it's not a sports thing. It's a culture thing. Really.
Definitely.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Soccer Sam, you do the podcast, right? I mean, talk to me about you're doing your talk shows and everything like that. And where can people find you?
Well, I every Saturday since 1995, I do a show called Kick This, and it's on iHeartRadio throughout the country. Now it's on Facebook every Saturday at 11 a.m. I try to cover MASL as much as I can. I was covering 3 teams in Rochester, New York. 2 of them have left us. The indoor Lancers
right.
and the outdoor women's team have left us. And now the Rhinos are on hiatus. The only team left right now is the Rochester Lancers outdoor teams and the Lady Lancers. So that's what we focus on our show. But, guys, I love what you do. You guys are professional. And this is it, man. Forget about national TV. This is national TV right now. YouTube for young kids is national TV.
I thought about this. I've been thinking about this. There was a time in this country when radio was the key, was the king.
Right.
And then it transferred to TV, and it was the king. And you're starting to think, with everyone kind of getting into the new era, and it's taken a while, but internet is the key, is going to be the new king, because people are going to be able to, instead of sitting in your living room, you can watch whatever you want to watch 24/7 in your hand. And I think that's what we're getting to.
Now, I watched both games yesterday. I mean, I was just glued to my seat. The Milwaukee game was amazing. And Milwaukee advanced. San Diego advanced last night. I can't wait. What's going to happen there? I mean, anything can happen. But I'm telling you, this is the future. The phone is the future.
Yeah, David Bascom and I were watching the end of the Milwaukee game right here, right next to us tonight in the arena. Congratulations, by the way, to the Wave and winning the series and having a chance to move on to the Eastern Conference Championship.
I'm so excited. Guys, Ed Hale, he's like the godfather of indoor soccer.
He really is.
He's just walking around signing his book and signing autographs. You know, I love this place. Look, my friends play for Syracuse. I have friends in Syracuse. So I'm kind of being a little neutral here. But if there's the next game here next Friday night, I will be here. I'm bringing my whole family. I'm bringing everybody I know that could invest in the sport in Rochester. We need to build the exact same replica arena in Rochester, New York.
I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it's been. Thank you so
man,
much
thank you,
for
man.
joining us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I'm working on getting my GED. I'll be back.
Soccer Sam joining us here on the broadcast. Thank you again. All right. That is Soccer Sam. He needs no introduction. By the way, I asked him if those white glasses that he wears, those trademark white glasses, are real, and they absolutely are. He needs them. He would be, couldn't see if he didn't have them. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Hey, you know what? What a great ambassador for the game.
Amazing. Just got to love the energy. You love the energy. You love the enthusiasm. And that's what this league needs, you know? That's exactly what this league needs.
We'll take a timeout here, come back in a couple of minutes. First half highlights and numbers coming your way. Blast leading at the half 2-1 over the Knights. Halftime continues here at the CQ Arena. First half highlights coming your way.
Syracuse on the board first. A great ball off the boards. Thompson finishes. Gives Syracuse a 1-0 lead. Blast will come right back, though. Great play by Vinny Dantas as the target man turns and scores to tie the game at 1 after 1 quarter of play. The Blast, the only goal in the second quarter. Turnover at the yellow line. Great job by Rayleigh. And then Thomas with the finish off the rebound. And the Blast head to the half. 2-1 the score.
Here are the numbers in this game. Shots, Blast 25, Syracuse 15. The Silver Knights have blocked 13. The Blast have 7 blocks. Fouls, 5 for the Silver Knights, 6 for the Blast. And saves, What a game for Andrew Coughlin. 9 saves and 11 chances, Paul. Joey Capinos has played well, too. 7 saves in 8 chances.
Oh, no, yeah. Both goalkeepers have played extremely well, and that's the reason why this is a 2-1 game. Obviously, a lot of scoring chances in this arena, but both keepers have made some key saves.
All right, so you just showed me on your phone, we've got the pairings. If UMBC made the tournament, the NCAA basketball tournament, where are they headed and what seed are they now?
UMBC was the 16th seed overall, and they have to play number 1 Virginia.
Wow, and it's going to be where?
In Charlottesville.
In Charlottesville. That's a tall task. Top defensive team in the country. Number 1 team in the country.
They lost 2 games this year.
And they did. They did indeed. Boy, that would be the upset of the century.
Well, one's got to fall at some point.
Well, it is interesting, though. Ryan Odom's dad, Dave Odom, coached at Virginia.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where Ryan grew up.
Yeah.
So.
That'll be an interesting homecoming for Ryan Odom and his UMBC squad. All right, we'll get there. Oh, by the way, is that a Thursday or a Friday game?
I believe it's Thursday.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Right.
Road trip, anyone?
No, I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure. I didn't get whether that's a Thursday or a Friday or not.
All right.
Well, several members of the Blast roster will be interested in that, as there's always been a pipeline from UMBC soccer.
Yep, no doubt. We saw PJ Wakefield here earlier. Of course, he was a UMBC product.
Levi Wapu recently, Blast player coming off championship.
Gaetan Caltabiano. And, of course, back in the day, Giuliano Salenza, Wakefield, as I mentioned.
Billy Nelson.
Billy Nelson, Brian Rowland, the goalkeeper. Had a lot come through. Jordan Becker a couple years ago. All right, the Silver Knights are back out on the floor. 2-1 our score at the half. Earlier this afternoon, Milwaukee advanced to the Eastern Conference Final. They beat Cedar Rapids Rampage 9-8 was the final in that one. If the Blast advance past Syracuse, they'll host Milwaukee on Friday night, game time 7:35 right here. If Syracuse advances, then they will go to Milwaukee. Syracuse will have it to start the third. Capinos on the save from midfield. Shot taken by Ubi.
Tricky one there. Went through a lot of bodies before it got to Capinos.
Blast now. Rayleigh beaten to the ball in the corner by Toby. And the goalkeeper sends one back out towards midfield.
Rayleigh has been flying all over the field tonight.
Nice placement here for Greenfield.
A great settle, too, by the way.
Here's Hoxie trying to turn on his defender towards the goal. Batted down, rebound, score! Blast had a couple of chances, and Donatelli puts it in.
Well, Coughlin couldn't quite corral it, and it came loose, and Pat Healy was right there to keep it alive. And then once the ball got across the crease, there was nobody marking Donatelli. It was easy goal.
Healy will get the assist. Andrew Hoxie picks up the hockey's second assist over, and
huge
Tony
credit.
Donatelli there to.
I'm sorry, Andrew. Huge credit to Pat Healy, who recognized the situation, and as Hoxie was racing for the ball, raced into the box near post to create that opportunity. That's what Danny Kelly stresses all the time. Get in the box, and that's exactly what Pat Healy did there.
First goal for Donatelli this postseason. For Healy, his first assist. For Donatelli in his playoff career, 27 goals in 37 games. Time of the goal, 43 seconds of the third, and the Blast now have opened up a 2-goal lead.
Now, Syracuse, a dangerous time here for the Silver Knights. Can they kind of stem the tide here and change the momentum around and not let this game get out of hand?
Good hustle by Thomas to create that play in the corner. And now DeSantos for the Blast picks it off in midfield.
And how about the versatility of this Blast team as Nelson Santana slots into the back line next to Jonathan Greenfield, and then he'll sling all the way up and play the point position for the Blast.
Peruzzi moving backwards in that situation.
Nobody's covering.
Finally able to get it
Dos
up ahead for
Santos.
DeSantos. Blast have two guys here. Santana now with Peruzzi making a run, and the Blast elect to slow it down. Blast have gotten off to a fast start here in the third quarter. A goal inside 1 minute by Donatelli. The Diesel being hounded by Tavernisi. Tavernisi has yet to score a goal here in the postseason. 6 quarters, he was one of the top goal scorers in the league this year.
He did have an assist on that first goal for Syracuse, though.
Tavernisi on the year, 54 points, 28 goals, 26 assists in 22 games.
Set the single season records for Silver Knights history.
Good pressure by Mello on Forbes.
And now Dantas on the keeper. Blast buzzing around inside the Syracuse zone. Still not able to get it out. Now Forbes looking ahead. Nothing ahead of him.
They're really struggling with their breakout now.
Finally, Toby on a run with Diesel. And they settle in the corner. And this one broken up by the Blast.
3-on-2.
Pereira, near side, Mello. Shoots, save, Coughlin, rebound. Kicked away, top of the box.
Another heads-up play by Vitale. He's played well for Syracuse tonight on that defensive end.
Donatelli with some footwork now. 11:45 left in the third. This one just high over the crossbar. It'll be a goal kick for Coughlin.
So Juwan Pereira just missed there. Remember last game we talked about Pereira's, he ripped his jersey, and you asked me, well, who sews the jersey on the team? 3-line violation there. So turns out that Heather Colbus is the trainer. Her mom sews the jerseys. Her name's Hope, and she got it done. And Juwan's still wearing that jersey, so it's holding up pretty well.
Boy, the Colmus family contributing in many ways to the Blast.
Oh.
Thomas trying to slip it in near post. Syracuse now trying to break out. Here's Thompson with Thomas.
And that's a foul.
Foul called on Thomas.
Jamie leaned on him, and Thompson went down. The easy call there for the referee.
I guess Heather can give stitches. She learned sewing from her mom.
Good one. That was a mishit in the corner by Ubi. A correction by Vitale. Schindler trying to lift one towards the goal. Thompson will run onto it in the corner. Syracuse maintains control.
Whoa. How about that bounce off the boards?
That was almost a 3-line bounce.
Waiting to see a 3-line.
Now hold on. If you kick the ball from your own end and it goes to the other end and then back, is that a 3-line violation?
Wow, look at Capinos on Tavernisi.
Doesn't hit the ground, Paul.
Remains to be seen, Paul.
I mean, that was close, right?
It was close. Capinos with a big save there, one-on-one. Bordeaux lurking around in the box. That one near post. Kicked away by Donatelli. Forbes will react to that.
Another block for Pat Healy, and a good read there defensively.
Oh, here's a chance. Thomas now going to run onto it. Towards the goal. Coughlin covers up, and Thomas is drilled into the boards. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if he was drilled into the boards, but he did crash into the boards, and now 2 players are down. It's Thomas for the Blast, and I couldn't make out the number for the Silver Knights.
And here we'll see the replay. No, it looks like just incidental.
Jamie got his foot caught in the turf, and that's why he went down.
Logan Roberts was down for Syracuse. Jamie Thomas for the Blast still down, as you see. And there is the trainer coming out to help. And Jamie Thomas will walk gingerly off, really under his own power.
Hope he's okay. One of those awkward falls you see sometimes on the turf.
And I do apologize. I said drilled into the boards, and that was not the case.
It looked like that from the angle we had,
did.
though.
Clock stops with 10:19 to go in the third. I'm sorry, Andrew.
No, I was going to say, if anything, Roberts went down on Jamie Thomas's leg.
Coughlin up ahead, good ball for Forbes. Mello running with him. Forbes has trouble with it and gives it up.
One of the cool things about the league's decision to implement video replay for the playoffs is, had that been a flagrant foul or an opportunity where something hadn't been seen along the boards, they would have had the ability to go back. There's a laptop down here set up. They would have had the ability to go back and look at that. So that's so important for those replays to be able to see, because in the past there would have been no recourse, but now the league embracing technology and giving an opportunity to correct obvious faults.
There's Mello with some wheels. Mello sets it up in the middle for DeSantos, and that's picked off by Forbes.
Nice recovery by the Blast to get back defensively. Peruzzi, right on top of things, was able to get back. That's going to be 3 lines.
That'll be 3 lines again. 9:30 left in the third. I want to apologize to Syracuse fans for a moment. There may be a couple of misidentifications on my part of players, but the reason for that is because they all have blonde hair.
So that's what you're going with? That's
I'm going with that.
Okay.
Also, gradually approaching your bedtime on a Sunday.
So you're saying to us, basically you identify players by looking at their hair?
It's so outstanding. That's my point.
That's an interesting play-by-play concept there, Gary.
Oh, man.
What was the guy he used to play? I think he used to play for Syracuse, right, with the Mohawk?
Oh,
or was that
man.
Rochester?
No, I think he played for Sam.
Yeah, the Mohawk. Can't remember his name. He was playing out west recently. Sure somebody's in the comments section letting us know who we've forgotten.
Now, a man of my age, Andrew, I could see how I wouldn't remember, but what about you?
Unfortunately, not that far behind you anymore, Gary. Catching up.
8:50 left in the third. Donatelli trying to go back post to Hoxie. That one blocked by Syracuse. 3-1 is our score. Blast with a 2-goal lead. 8:40 left in the third. Oh, just wide. Diesel had a chance. And now Hoxie commits a foul on the far side as he spills Zubi Parapovic. Tabernisi trying to send one through for Thompson. Broken up by the Blast. Here's Pereira now running through traffic. Donatelli kicked in by Ubi. And now sent over the boards by Capinos.
That deflected off the glass, so it'll be a kick in. But still a good spot here for the Silver Knights,
who trail by 2. Syracuse needs to win game 2 to force the mini game 3. Syracuse and the Blast have played twice in the playoffs. Blast have won both series.
Next goal here is pretty big, but we always talk about, playing games and playing them to the end. I think, if anything, if Syracuse falls behind here, they have some solace in knowing that they were able to come back in game 1 at home, and this is a much smaller arena.
Vitale inside the box, trying to get a foot on it, and it deflects off of a Blast player. Thompson trying to keep it alive. Hoxie right there with him. Thompson wins it. Thompson, quick move to the left. We'll play it off the boards. Donatelli right there. He'll kick it towards midfield. The Blast buzzing around, but Syracuse doing a good job of maintaining control.
Yeah, there's Vitale again getting the job done.
That ball's still in play. Now it goes out. It'll be off the head of Donatelli. It'll be a kick-in Blast when we return. 7:26 left to go in the third. Blast 3 and the Knights 1. Back after this. Back at you here from the CQ Arena with 7:26 left to go in the third. Blast leading it 3-1 over the Knights. Andrew, you were making the point earlier in the broadcast in the pregame You know, we talk about William Vanzella and how great of a goalkeeper he is, no doubt. But Joey Capinos in the postseason has had a great career with 7 wins, 6 defeats. And he's come up big for the Blast in both games 1 and game 2 now.
Played very well. He had his struggle in the second half of the game up against Syracuse, and I think he has recovered from that very well, as we've seen only 1 goal so far in 24 shots. 14 shots for Syracuse midway through the third quarter.
Still, he had 15 saves. I mean, Syracuse was peppering the goal in game 1. There's a chance just high. That bullet by Ubi.
Jamie Thomas running down the far wing. Defense kind of lost track of him, but they couldn't quite get the ball across the box.
Well, Juwan completely mishit that ball. Unhappy with himself, and the Blast bench unhappy with him as well.
Yellowbach keeping it alive for Ubi. Now Schindler with a drive, and it's too high. It'll be a goal kick for Capinos.
Rare mistake from Pat Healy there as he cleared it out and created that scoring opportunity. You don't see that too often from the veteran defender.
Yeah, I don't like that play in this arena where you're just banging off those corner boards, because the boards are so active that sometimes it comes right into the middle of the box. And you saw there, created a scoring chance on the far side.
Capinos rolls it out on the near side for Peruzzi. Peruzzi somehow gets out of that and maintains control.
Great ball.
Donatelli trying to track it.
Really?
Oh, through the box. Vinny wasn't positioned right for that pass.
Second time that Vinny's just been a step away.
Trying to save it is Peruzzi. I hope he's okay.
I hope that board's okay.
Yeah, he had a lot of parts on that board. Schindler now. That one running onto it, that one wide. Rebound is wide the other way. Raymond will try to track it down in midfield.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if the Blast bench took a timeout here, as the momentum has swung. The Blast are a step behind on defense. Syracuse is controlling possession. Blast are just out of sort right now.
The Knights putting a lot of pressure on the Blast, no doubt about it. Here's Forbes now. Toby and Forbes on the far side, Rayleigh on the defense. Tavernisi trying to slip it through. Oh, well played by Donatelli inside the box. Now a chance. Dantas runs onto it, and he scores!
Peruzzi wins the 2-man challenge, gets it through to Jeremy Rayleigh. Jeremy patient, waits for the goalie to commit, and finds Dantas on the far side for the goal.
I can't even imagine what's going through Dantas' mind here, as once the keeper makes the commitment, he's wide open with an open net. He just waits patiently and does not make a mistake as he puts it right into the middle of the goal for a 4-1 lead.
Well, great job by Jeremy to be patient there, wait for Coughlin to commit. He knows that Coughlin's got to make a decision. Either he's going to pull the trigger on the shot and wait. As soon as Coughlin goes down, he knows he has Vinny Dantas to cross the net. Nice solid pass. No panic from Vinny Dantas. He finished it off, and the Blast have a 3-goal lead.
Dantas goal number 2 tonight, 4 goals on the playoffs. Rayleigh assist number 2 tonight. Jeremy Rayleigh's been involved in everything tonight for the Blast.
He's been physical, and he's been all over the field.
Yeah, Jeremy Rayleigh and Mike Diesel have created a pretty physical back line combo, replacing each other right now.
Time of the goal, 10:04 the third. Comes Syracuse the other way, and an own goal. Capinos makes the save on the shot from Logan Roberts, and the ball bounces up off Pereira and into the net.
A tough break there for the Blast. But that was a great little hesitation move by Roberts along the boards to get that little step on Healy, and he just plays it off Capinos, off Pereira, and into the back of the Blast net to get Syracuse a huge goal here to get them back in the game.
Logan Roberts with his first playoff goal of the season. And that is like you say, a huge response from Syracuse, and now the blast from midfield. Turn it over. It'll be a kick in Syracuse from their own end.
Kick in Syracuse. Glass hands, don't get quiet on me. It's time to make some noise.
Tony Donatelli had an option there. He probably could have let that ball clear through. Probably would have earned a 3-line pass for the Blast.
The Diesel will get called for a foul at the Blast yellow line as Tavernisi went down.
Yeah, a little too physical there with Tavernisi. Diesel, one of the most physical defenders in the league.
Bordeaux working with DeSantos, and a foul call. Oh, 2 minutes. Rich Grady shows the blue.
Here's the replay. Nah, I don't know. I don't know if I like the 2-minute call. That's definitely a foul. He is going, but you know, in my opinion anyway, if you're going towards goal that you fouled, it should be a penalty, and he made the call, so there you go.
2 minutes for tripping on DeSantos. Time of the penalty, 11:10 of the third. It'll be Syracuse's second power play opportunity of the game. Oh, and right off the bat, Healy off the back line.
Another block by Healy. Unreal.
I'll tell you what, Pat better get some votes for goaltender of the year.
Kick in Syracuse with 3:39 to play in the third of a 4-2 game.
Play stop there as Pat Healy had something on his eye.
Crucial part of the game here. Down 2, Syracuse can really make it interesting with the goal here on the power play.
Healy slipped down inside the box and couldn't pursue that ball.
We pretty much guarantee they have to score at some point here. It has to be 1 goal a game. I mean, whether they do it now or later is kind of the intrigue.
Right.
Here's Ubi running onto it, and a handball is called.
Well, this is gonna have to be reviewed, right?
Well, no, the goal wasn't called.
Oh,
it was a
they waved it
handball.
off. Okay, well,
They waved it off.
They called the handball, but then the question was, should that not have been a card?
That was called on Tavernisi inside the box. The penalty, the power play actually still continues for Syracuse, coming up on the 1-minute mark of that. 2:55 left in the third.
Blast like the pressure with their penalty kill.
Kicked out by Greenfield. It'll be a kick in Syracuse.
And I've seen that before called illegal procedure, right?
53 seconds left on the power play. That one blocked by Greenfield. Kick in Syracuse again. Here's Ubi Parapovic into the corner now for Tavernisi. Schindler towards the goal.
Big save.
Great save by Capinos. Up top for Toby. It's broken up by Donatelli. 30 seconds on the power play, and Donatelli will give it up. Forbes runs onto it, mishits.
He almost mishit that into a pass. Oh,
Donatelli.
Nice. Heads up play by Donatelli.
I got it. Here's Ubi. The teams are at even strength as DeSantos joins the fray.
Big kill by the Blast there.
Toby lines it up, blocked by Healy again. And now right out in front, a shot taken by Tavernisi, And the save by Capinos. Let's see if the Blast call a timeout.
Blast will call a timeout
They
here.
will.
Yeah.
With 1:28 to play in the third.
Those guys on the field a long time, that extended penalty kill and then after the fact. So that's like a 2.5, 2:45 shift for some of those guys out there.
Joey Capinos in goal for the playoffs so far. No William Vanzella in games 1 or 2. Maybe no William Vanzella for the rest of the way. We don't know yet.
I think it's a good sign he was out warming up before the game today.
When you think back about it, how about Kevin Healy getting on the phone right away when Vanzella went down and bringing this guy Capinos in for the next game?
Well,
Next day.
Yeah, it's preparation. It's preparation. He knew who he was going to call. He had the number ready. He had the guy scouted, and he knew who was available. I mean, that's just knowing your job, knowing your roster, knowing the league, and having that ready. And you know, that's why he's who he is and why the Blast have been who they are for the last decade. He's as good as you can get in this job. By the way, I do see William. He's down here at field level now, sitting down over where we'll do the post-game interviews with Harrisburg Heat owner Carl Delmont. Of course, Carl, a longtime sponsor of the Blast with his company Fremont Mortgage and a season ticket holder before he purchased the Harrisburg franchise, and knows William really well. They're involved in some rec soccer programs together. The two of them sitting over there as William's watching the game.
Oxy heads it over to Donatelli. The right foot. Oh, that almost squeaked in there. Oxy trying to keep it alive for the Blast.
I mean, Syracuse overcommitting to that ball and trying to play Hoxie on the header and giving up the odd man opportunity. You got to kind of back off defensively there.
DeSantos pokes it. Rebound is wide. Followed his own shot, like in basketball. Last minute of play here in the third. Blast by 2.
Good closeout by Rayleigh at the yellow line to not allow a quick break.
Oh, somehow that gets through for Yellowbach. And breaking it up out in front is Peruzzi, who's played well tonight for the Blast. One touch, Donatelli up ahead. Rayleigh will win it. Blast have 3-on-3 the other way.
Across if he can get to him.
Great sliding tackle by Baudreau.
Plenty of time.
Bordeaux, I should say.
Plenty of time, 30 seconds.
Blast will get a sub in. Get Dantas and Pereira. Fresh legs with 25.
Pereira here on the near side. They'll try to set up Dantas in the corner. Off the boards and closing fast was Pereira, but Coughlin had made the play. 15 seconds left to go. Tavernisi with 6 seconds now in the midfield. Forbes, 2 seconds, 1 second. And that's going to do it here in the third quarter. The Blast outscored the Silver Knights 2-1 in the third and lead 4-2 going into the fourth.
Big penalty kill towards the end of that quarter, and now the Blast 15 minutes away from advancing to the Eastern Conference Final. And Syracuse going to need a big fourth quarter like they had up in Syracuse here in Game 2.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
Back at you here from the CQ Arena with the Blast leading at 4-2 after 3 periods of play. Blast outscoring Syracuse 2-1 in the third. Donatelli and Dantas made it 4-1 at the 10:04 mark, but then Roberts on an own goal from Pereira made it 4-2 at the 10:36 mark. And Paul, Syracuse outscored the Blast 5-2 in Syracuse in the fourth quarter. And as you say, they're going to need the effort, and they're going to give the effort in the fourth quarter to make this a tight game, which it is already.
I guarantee you that Danny Kelly's on the bench talking to his guys about attention to detail and finishing, because that's probably what he was most disappointed with the team in that fourth quarter, was just kind of some of the fundamental defensive breakdowns that we saw that led to Syracuse goals. So see if the Blast can do a better job in this last 15 minutes here of closing this game out.
Blast getting a pair of goals from Vinny Dantas for the second straight night. He's got 4 goals in the playoffs. Jeremy Raley with 2 assists tonight. So Raley in the 2 games, a goal and 2 assists. He had played in 9 postseason games coming into game 1 of this series with no points, and now has 3 points here in the first 2 games.
Just effort, just maximum effort of, getting in the box, making runs, selling out his body to make plays. And I think we've seen that from Jeremy Raley in both games.
Third quarter stats, shots, Syracuse 11, the Blast 3. Talk about controlling pace of play. Blast came up with 7 blocks in that quarter, 14 for the game. Each goalkeeper with 10 saves.
How about taking advantage of opportunities? 3 shots and 2 goals for the Blast in the third quarter.
Efficient.
That's efficient, right?
Here we go, final 15 of regulation. Blast will control it first. Dantas will play it back in a moment. Pereira and Mello in the corner, and the ball is picked up by Coughlin. Bordeaux keeps it alive now along the boards. Tavernisi in the corner, picked up by Healy. And that one blocked by Healy, squirts out towards Mello. Mello trying to get by Forbes, and a foul called on Tavernisi as he spilled Healy at midfield.
Well, Tavernisi trying to prevent a 3-on-2. Pat Healy's back, he wanted a penalty, as Tavernisi was inhibiting him from getting forward to create that 3-on-2. I'm not sure why it didn't have a play on there, because the Blast had a definite advantage.
Well, Rich Grady reached for the card at first. I think that's why he blew the whistle, but then pulled it back down.
And Andrew, right in front of you, a blatant jersey grab there?
Yeah, it was pretty grab, and they were both hands up high. Tavernisi's response was to Healy, "I told you to keep your hands off me." So Rich Grady heard that and still kept going.
A drop ball here, and Dantas with Bordeaux.
Wow.
That one broken up by Mello. Blast have a chance here. Dantas.
How does a guy that big be that great? Oh.
Now, Vinny just kicked him. Definitely a foul there. Vinny got it tied up in his feet. Yeah, but Vinny's so athletic for as big as he is.
It's insane to watch him, as I started to say, how big a guy that big do that.
Here's Yelovak, and he puts it in. Far post. A blast from Yelovak, and it's a 4-3 game.
Well, Yelovak out-muscled Dos Santos. Fans were booing. They wanted a foul there as Yelovak pushed Dos Santos to the ground. And a great finish to the far post.
Time of the goal, 1:12 of the fourth. Yelovak on the scoreboard tonight. That's his 3rd playoff goal and his 4th playoff point. 4-3 is the score. The Silver Knights have scored the last 2 goals in this game. It was 4-1.
Well, like we said, it's just a matter of when.
That own goal, really a momentum changer. The own goal, the power play, and now the goal here early in the 4th. Syracuse going the right way.
And another 1-goal game. Blast are 10-3 in 1-goal games. They're 6-0 at home. 3 of the 4 regular season games against the Knights were 1-goal games. 2 in overtime, all won by the Blast. And then the playoff game 1 was a 1-goal game.
Of course, the Blast still enjoy the greatest home field advantage in the history of professional sports.
Wow.
Again,
I'll tell you who's playing a great game here tonight is Pat Healy. Great defensively. He's playing well in his in the midfield, reading the play right, and really actually moving forward as well and creating opportunities in the offensive end.
Dantas takes that one away off the boards. Here's Raley, who's also played well for the Blast. And he'll possess it now with 12:30 left in regulation. Dantas at the target. Moved off. Peruzzi gets a foot on Yelovak. That ball still in play. Raymond here on the near side.
There's that little piece of glass there in front of the scorer's table that you can keep the ball in play with.
Ubi's long distance shot is blocked, and now a three-line violation on Greenfield.
It's a great pass in most arenas.
Most arenas, it gets into the midfield.
Unfortunately tonight, most arenas are not here. Here's a chance now for the Knights. Dantas in pursuit with Mello.
Oh, good ball.
Forbes doing a good job in finding Schindler. Syracuse will possess it, trailing by 1. Here's Yelovak. Well, he's a big boy. Comes out off the boards to Diesel. Diesel tries to slip one in, and Coughlin is there.
He did not look comfortable making that save, did he?
Well, when you got a train running straight at you, it's hard to feel comfortable.
Good point.
Have you talked with Mike? Apparently he's doing bodybuilding stuff now.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing that for a couple years now, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
The Diesel working hard here. That one blocked.
Oh, I think it was Hoxie that time, right?
Hoxie with a great save.
That was into the back of the net. Oh, nice cut.
Forbes working hard and fouling.
Yeah, takes Mello down.
Mello.
Great positional defense by Jonathan there in the corner.
That's something that nobody will talk about in the news tomorrow, but a great play by Mello.
Here's the replay from the camera behind the goal, and you just see him get his body between Forbes and the ball, and he had forced to foul him.
I'll tell you what, Forbes, with the veracity with which he pulled him down, he's kind of lucky it was Mello, one of the more composed guys, because I tell you what, you do that to Juan Pereira or Mike Diesel or Adriano Dos Santos, I don't think they would have taken it that well.
Toby at midfield with Hoxie. Coming up on the 10-minute mark left in regulation. Now Schindler on for Syracuse. So is Santana for the Blast. And taken away by Pereira midfield. Here's Healy. Trying to slip one up ahead for Santana, picked off by Schindler. Roberts on the give and go. That one's broken up by Pereira. Leaves it ahead for Healy.
Mello wanted Santana to come forward. Nelson playing it safe, though.
Yelovak on a run. Rarely picked him up.
Off the boards, Yelovak. Santana right with Yelovak. A lot of contact, no call.
I think advantage was called.
Nice ball. Pereira leaving it for Mello, and the Blast maintained possession. Greenfield with Yelovak. And a foul called on Greenfield. Free kick, the Knights.
Greenfield didn't argue that one. He walked away. He knew he got his money's worth there.
9 minutes left in regulation. Ubi lets it play through. Greenfield quickly up ahead for Dantas. Dantas trying to fight his way through. Does. Keeps it alive for Thomas.
Nice job keeping it into open space.
Yeah, I feel like Vinny could have pulled the trigger there.
DeSantos hits the post, and it bounces to the corner. He wound up for that one.
Guys, we talked about this earlier, about the ball from Syracuse at the other goal that bounced around, hit off the top bar, and we asked whether it went in. We should mention there are goal officials tonight for the playoffs. So 2 officials sitting there with flags right there in the goal. So a lot of confidence that we'll get that right tonight with the officials on hand. Not something the league does in regular season.
8:15 left in regulation.
Oh, Adriano that close to making it a 2-goal game again would have been huge with 8 minutes to play.
DeSantos trying to turn it for Dantas. Ball squirts out towards DeSantos. Tabernisi will pressure that. Now they've got 3 pressuring inside the yellow line. Forbes takes it away.
And one of those
Turnover,
deals,
Syracuse.
if Dos Santos can get the ball past, it's a 2-on-1.
Tabernisi in the box. The rebound blocked by DeSantos as Forbes was cutting through. 7:30 left in regulation. Here's Forbes with Pereira in the far corner. Correction, that's with Diesel.
Blast really need the official timeout right here. They are sucking wind.
Yellowbach, a mistake by the Blast. Capinos, that's the save of the game. Hoxie wins the ball along the boards. Pushed away, no call. Referee says play on, 6:45 left. Here's Ubi coming free, middle of the field. Pereira now marks him, taken away.
A great one here today. There you go, you get a timeout here.
With 6:30 left to go in the fourth. A timeout on the field, and we'll take one to the Blast. Holding on. They lead the Knights 4-3.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Back to the action here now with 6:20 left to go. Ball taken by Pereira towards midfield. And that one kicked out by Thompson.
Are you kidding me by Pereira right there?
Now he just ran through 3 defenders.
Including a guy that tackled him from behind, and he still maintained possession. Man, he's made some runs like that this year.
Corner kick up coming for the Blast now. Intended for Donatelli, broken up by Vitale.
So hard in this arena to protect a 1-goal lead.
Rayleigh with Thompson. 6 minutes, under 6 now, left to go in regulation.
Let's just say if this game ended 4-3, I would be stunned.
7-5.
Wow. A lot of action coming up.
We'll get an empty netter.
Well, we'll definitely have a 6th attacker.
Well, the number tonight, and it wasn't on the board because Danny forgot his marker, but the number is 4.
I gotta call him out.
How is that not a foul?
Finally, it is. And Thompson offers his hand, and Vinny doesn't want it.
That was a hard foul.
It was. Dantas double teamed off the boards. DeSantos, well met.
Oh, good ball there. Coughlin right there in position to make that play.
Outlet intended for Yelovak, a little too strong.
Coughlin's actually done an excellent job tonight on his distributions. Some goalies have struggled in this field with a short field on the distributions, but Coughlin's really done a nice job of finding that sweet spot along the boards to avoid the three-line pass and get Yelovak in particular some restart opportunities.
Hoxie along the boards, intended for Pereira. That one won by Syracuse.
Man, is it just me or has Canardo Forbes been on the field every time I looked up tonight?
Yeah, he's an Iron Man, no doubt.
Oh, Yelovak got in a lot of minutes tonight, too.
Uh-oh. Nice.
Hoxie saves it at the yellow line. Onto the chest of Thomas now, less than 4:30 to play in regulation.
I have to tell you, that ball the Capinos played, the distribution to Mello that he laid right in front of the three lines on Mello's foot for the goal in Syracuse, one of the best distributions I've seen in a long time.
Hoxie, nice play by Coughlin like a cat. Snags it off the boards. Oh, good ball for Thompson.
Clock melting away here. Under 4 to play now.
With Greenfield now. Blast get back.
My prediction looking a little dire.
Oh, that's still
possible.
well within the realm. Yeah, absolutely.
The Blast need to pick one up here, and then Silver Knights will go 6th attacker.
And then they'll score 2.
And then the Blast will get 1. I like it. Holds up.
Broken up by Santana.
Yes.
Intended for Bordeaux. And taken back now by Syracuse. That's Raymond. Here's the Diesel quickly up ahead. Peruzzi. Santana. Missed time. Rebound is wide. And the clock stops with 3:09 left, and Syracuse will have it.
That ball just a little bit too hard off the boards there. And going by Santana. Yelovak arguing with the officials, Blast distributing.
Both him and Pat Healy were pulling each other's jerseys, both arguing.
Less than 3 minutes to go in this one.
Goal.
And it's in there! A huge insurance goal for the Blast.
Peruzzi from Dantas saw that all the way. Vinny with a great ball off the boards. And again, we talked about getting in the box if you're the Blast. And Peruzzi knocks it home.
Syracuse will take a timeout, and Coach Ryan Hall's got the 6th attacker jersey. He's already handed it.
Here it is.
To
Great
Forbes.
ball right past the keeper and onto the foot of Peruzzi.
Daniel Peruzzi with a goal tonight. He's got 3 in the playoffs, and Vinny Dantas with a 3-point night. Dantas last night or the other night with 2 goals. He's got 5 postseason points in the first 2 games. And it's a timeout, Syracuse, and this one, boys, as we know, is far from over.
Oh, plenty of time left for Syracuse. Again, if you're the Blast and they go 6th attacker, you're thinking about scoring. You want to get a pressure, you want to get a quick steal, and you want to get a goal. So tough to defend the 6th attacker in this arena.
Forbes puts on the 6th attacker jersey. Syracuse scored 2 6th attacker goals in game 1 against the Blast. Toby and Yelovak. And both of those players are on the floor right now for Syracuse. And the Blast are going after it.
Exactly.
Well, and for the Blast, you got to try something different than what you've done.
But probably not that.
Pat had trouble there keeping the ball in play.
Wow, it's a lucky break, as that could have been called.
Nah, hit off the glass.
No, it was off the glass.
I'm sorry.
Yelovak, broken up by Donatelli. 2:25 left to play. It's in there. Oh! How close was that?
That close.
Forbes.
From really making it hard.
2 minutes, 5 seconds left in regulation.
But that definitely has to be the mentality. I think
Mello. Broken up by Toby, 1:45 left in a 2-goal game. Syracuse fighting for their playoff lives. Broken up by Healy. Saved by Forbes, 1:35 left to play.
Yeah, you got to remember, it's Forbes in goal. Just shoot at him. That was not a particularly hard shot, and that was a tough save.
Well, and it was pretty close to being a handball, too. I'm not going to lie.
Mello. Forbes with Donatelli.
Look at this.
Oh.
1:15 left to go.
Forbes looks pretty lackadaisical for Movie Parapovich there. He must have known he had that the whole time.
Forbes looks gassed.
Donatelli inside the yellow line. Can't finish it. 1 minute left. This one off the head of Donatelli or maybe DeSantos.
No, they're going to say Rich Grady's overruling here. He's going to rule that it's blast ball.
No, it's off the blast.
They're
no,
ruling on positioning.
No, he ruled he was arguing with the Syracuse players, and he was overturned by his assistant official, demonstratively calling it blast ball.
Capinos will handle it with 47 seconds left.
He'll call timeout here.
And a timeout with 43 seconds left to play in this one. The Blast are 43 seconds away from dispatching Syracuse and moving on to an Eastern Conference final against their old friends, the Milwaukee Wave.
That will be an amazing game next Friday night.
I can't wait for it already, if it happens. Got 43 seconds left in this one. But what a game here tonight between two teams that have played up tight all year. Back to the action here. Capinos with the outlet to DeSantos. Pereira, DeSantos, and a great play by Toby to keep it out of the net. Donatelli and Forbes with a save. Hit him in the back. 29 seconds left. Blast attacking it. Blast are on their way here. 23 seconds left. Ball is out of play off Syracuse. And that could do it with 20 seconds left to go. Forbes, 15 seconds left. He'll hit it. And it's in there! A goal from downtown for Forbes with 11 seconds left to play.
What a strike by Forbes from the midfield. Are we going to look at the video here? Was this a goal? That's the question.
I mean, I thought it was pretty clear. Watch it here. It's in there.
Oh yeah,
it's clearly a goal.
Oh yeah.
The goal is unassisted by Forbes at 14:49 with 11 seconds to go.
They're adding the second back to the clock. They're going to make it 12.8. So that was a conversation. Clearly a goal, not a video replay, but just looking at the time of it. Oh, now they're going to go, they just issued the video replay. So they're going to go video replay for the clock. It's Rich Gate. Rich Gady has made the signal for the TV. Of course, that's the new
There will be a time clock review.
So right now they put a second back up, 12.8. The Blast will have the kickoff. I'm sure Syracuse will pressure.
So actually, great job of the timekeepers. They look with video replay, 12.3. So right in the middle of the 12.8 they recorrected to, and the 11.8 he had on the board. So pretty good job by hand to be 0.5 seconds off.
Another one-goal game.
What would you expect, right? But Andrew, I don't think it's going to be 7-5. And let's do it again. We're going to do it again. We're going to start the clock over. Here's what you need to do if you're the Blast. You've got to play it to the corner, and you've got to fight as hard as you can to keep it there for as long as you can.
That's exactly what they do. Donatelli may even win the ball. With 5 seconds left, a foul called on the Blast.
And the worst thing you could do is commit a foul there, because now it's a free kick, and it gives them a chance to get it up the field as quickly as possible.
That one is blocked. Ubi now sends it 1 second, and that's going to do it. The Blast survived Syracuse. Another one-goal game in this building. And the Blast play for the Eastern Conference Final on Friday night right here against the Milwaukee Wave. What a game here tonight.
Hats off to the Silver Knights. What a battle. They never quit. They didn't quit in game one. They came all the way back and made it close, and they come all the way back here with a sixth attacker goal to get it to 1, but not quite enough here against the Blast.
Blast getting 2 goals tonight from Vinny Dantas, and the game winner, the eventual game winner, from Dan Peruzzi on an assist from Dantas. Dantas with a 3-point night. Excellent goalkeeping on both sides of the field tonight.
Wow. Tell me how much of a major player Vinny Dantas has been in the playoffs.
Last year, he was the championship MVP. Remember, he didn't even play in the playoffs a couple of years
Correct.
ago. He
was
missed
hurt.
it.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He was champing at the bit to get there. And Dantas making a huge difference tonight. Blast and Syracuse were tied at 1 after 1. Blast led 2-1 at halftime. And then they extended that lead to 4-2 after 3. Syracuse then made it 4-3 early in the fourth on a blistering shot from Yelovak. Peruzzi gave the Blast a breathing room with 2:50 to go.
Well, Gary, after a Syracuse goal early, Dantas changes the momentum with the outstanding individual effort at the target. And then in a close game in the fourth quarter, Dantas makes the beautiful pass off the boards to Peruzzi for the game-winning goal.
Let's talk about Peruzzi for a minute. He didn't have the greatest regular season. Actually, was a healthy scratch a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he's come back and has really embraced it in the second half of the year and now in the playoffs.
I think what stands out most to me isn't his goal scoring, but the work he's done in his own end of the field. You know, we saw a couple times tonight where he raced back in a covering position for a defender that overlapped and prevented some odd-man rushes.
Let's go downstairs, post-game interviews. Andrew Primrose. Andrew?
Congratulations, Vinny, player of the game tonight. Let's talk a little bit. The first goal coming in, you set that up, changed the momentum of this game. Talk about the setup on that goal.
Normally when I get the ball on top of the box, I have one thing in mind, is trying to spin and shoot. I had the space, did it.
Very nice. I want to talk about Joey Capinos now. He's had to step in, play for William Vanzella, one of the best goalkeepers this league has ever seen. Talk about the job he's done and how you feel with him behind you as your defense.
Joey's done a tremendous job for us. You know, it's not easy coming in the middle of the season. You don't know much about the players. You don't know much about the system. He came in. He adapted quickly. He's making some huge saves for us. And yeah, we're very thankful that he's with us.
All right, I'm not sure if you know yet, but Milwaukee has beaten Cedar Rapids 8-7, so they'll be here on Friday night. What do you know about Milwaukee? What are you feeling about playing them the next round of the playoffs?
I wanted Milwaukee. I want Milwaukee here. You guys want Milwaukee here, so let's go.
Fantastic, man. What do you want to say to the fans here? Great crowd, probably the loudest crowd we've had so far this season. What do you want to say to them besides we want Milwaukee?
You guys are amazing. Keep coming out because we're going to keep winning.
All right, fantastic. Congratulations, Vinny. Thank you.
Well, I think that's 100% accurate, Paul.
How about that?
Everybody wants Milwaukee.
Everybody wants Milwaukee. Well, everybody wants Milwaukee because you know, as well as I do, it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out, great game. It's going to be fun to watch. You know, it's just simple as that.
Let conference final week begin. The gauntlet's been thrown down, not in a bad way. I'm sure the Blast obviously want Milwaukee, and I'm sure Milwaukee wanted the Blast, period. It's the way it should be.
Now you see the save of the game from Copinos as he denied yellow back there.
Let's get us down back to Andrew Primrose now with the Syracuse player of the game. Andrew?
All right, thanks. We're here with Logan Roberts. Logan, tough game for you guys. Talk about why these two teams play one-goal games back-to-back so many times. What is it between your two teams?
We have a lot of respect for Baltimore. They're defending champs for a reason, and I think every time we play them, we have a little bit extra in the tank because every time, every year, it's Baltimore in our way of advancing in the playoffs and getting to the playoffs every year. So I think that we have a little bit extra, and when we play them, and they're a very good team. So it's always a battle, and I think every game we played them this year was one goal, and it's always a battle when we play them. We look forward to it, but today was obviously disappointing.
Talk a little bit about playing, and then Blast moved to this new arena this year. It's a different style of soccer, certainly for the Blast that they've been used to. How does it affect your game playing on this small field?
It's different. It's unlike any other arena in the country, really. It's small. The game's a lot faster. You're on, you're sprinting, and you're off, and it's a lot tighter. There's a lot more pressure on you, and it's a different game when you come here compared to when you play us up in Syracuse. So it's definitely an adjustment, but I think we made some adjustments today. And
so fantastic year for you guys, even though it didn't end the way that you wanted it to. Great fans here. I saw a lot of fans travel here. I saw a great splash of orange that come down. What do you want to say for all the fans that are watching at home right now?
I mean, thank you for all your support this year and for every year. We're looking forward to next year. Obviously, we had the most wins of franchise history this year, and we're looking to build on something special. So hopefully we'll be back, and the fans will be back, and it'll be another good year.
Well, congratulations. Fantastic year for you guys. Sorry it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but like you said, you will be back next year. So congratulations. Thank you.
Nice young man, Logan Roberts, played a good game tonight, had a goal for them, and he's right. I mean, this was a team this year, Syracuse I'm talking about, set a franchise record with 13 wins. I mean, you can't play the Blast any better than Syracuse plays the Blast.
Not only that, Gary, but how about all the close games that they just came up a little bit short on? You talk about 13 wins. How many of those, if you maybe get a bounce one way or the other,
could be 16.
Could be 16, You could be right there competing for the division. So
well, two of those head-to-head games that they lost to the four, they lost to the Blast. They split those two.
Exactly.
They're one game away.
Yep, there you go. So they're close. They're close.
So, Andrew, while we have you for a moment, certainly not surprised by Vinny's answer when he said, I wanted Milwaukee. I mean, this is going to be fabulous here come Friday night.
I may not have been surprised by his answer, but I was a little intimidated by the look in his eye. I'll tell you that right now. That's a big man, and you call it out there. I thought it was a boxing interview right there, man. There's two teams that want to go, and you remember they played two games in Milwaukee, one game here, and that game here was an absolute slugfest between those two teams, and verbally got into a little bit. And Max Ferdinand, such a great player for them, has a long history here in Baltimore. Jonathan Grittenfield has a history over there. I mean, these are two teams that know each other well. Milwaukee had been down for a couple years, and now certainly way, way back. And that's going to be a fun one, and especially on this field. I mean, Milwaukee is their offense, right? I mean, they have Ian Bennett and Max Ferdinand, and you put Lemos in goal, running up, trying to shoot everywhere he can. That's a dangerous team to play on a field this size. So it's going to be a fun game for no doubt. Friday is going to be, wow, I'm excited. Going to be Friday now?
Well, the two things that stand out to me from that game here when Milwaukee played the Blast was, one, it took Milwaukee a little bit of time to adjust in their first trip here and playing in this arena. They're probably going to not have to deal with that to start the game. And the other thing that just stands out in my mind was the whole exchange between Jonathan Greenfield and Max Ferdinand during the game as they were going back and forth throughout the game during that matchup. So it's going to be fun to watch those two go at it again coming up on Friday night.
Let's add the other thing. You have one of, if not the best goaltender in the league. You have a goaltender that's coming off a playoff series where he just gave up 4 goals against a very dangerous Syracuse Silver Knights team. Which goalie do you go with? I mean, that's the intrigue there.
I think that's going to all depend on the training regimen this week for William Vanzella, whether he improves physically enough to where they feel they can trust him and not have to worry about a possible injury during the game. And all those things are going to factor in again this week as they get ready to play Milwaukee.
Yeah, and you add on the fact that if they do make that decision to go with William, not only do you have the fact that you have to trust him, but you are dressing a backup goalie then if you go with William, which means Daniel Peruzzi, Mike Diesel, one of those guys who played very, very well tonight. The back end of the Blast bench, so crucial, would be down for that backup goalie. So you got to make that choice.
Well, I don't think those guys will be down.
And all you got to think about is when you really look at the end of this game and kind of look at the physicality of it. I mean, Syracuse was winded, and they were running on empty at the end. And part of that is because the Blast had that extra player and were able to rotate guys in, keep them fresh, and we're the fresher team at the end. So there's no way, in my mind, Danny Kelly is going to sacrifice a field player next week. He's going to play a keeper, and if it's William Vanzella is 100%, he'll play him. If he's not, it'll be Joey Capinos.
Wow, so you go William Vanzella, not having played in 6 weeks, not seeing him in game stretch. If you start him, you don't dress Capinos at all?
Well, no, I'm saying there's the only way I'm saying this. The only way Vanzella starts next week is if he's 100% and they feel confident that he can go the whole game. If not, then he's not going to play. Capinos will play, but I don't believe, and I could be wrong. You know, I've been wrong before. I don't believe Danny Kelly will play 2 goalkeepers against Milwaukee next week.
Wow. Well, that's the gutsy. I mean, that's the challenge of the whole thing because it's gutsy because if William, even if he's 100%, comes in and tweaks something right off the bat with the first time, not having played in 5 weeks, which, he's a great goalkeeper and you can have that confidence, but, somebody coming off that long of an injury to do that without having a backup plan other than Pat Healy, that would take a lot of guts to make a decision like that.
Well, and let me throw this into the mix, guys, and I don't know the reason, but, Lemos, the goalkeeper for Milwaukee, has been inactive in those 2 games against Cedar Rapids. It's been Rafael Diaz in both of those games, and they just slipped by the Rampage 9-8 and 8-7. So that's a story to watch as well. And also keep in mind this, and I'm sure fans know this, but this is a 1-game playoff. This is not a best of 3. This isn't a 2-game and a mini game. This is 1 game for the Eastern Conference on Friday night, and that's it.
Well, and that's another reason where if you're not entirely confident in William Vanzella, you don't have the opportunity to play a second and third game if he were to come in and give up 3 or 4 goals early on because he's struggling and not feeling it right away. And so if that's the case, I mean, that's just another element is you wouldn't have a kind of a do-over. If he had been able to play this series, that first game in Syracuse, yeah, you wanted to win it, but you still would have had 2 games here at home to recover if he had difficulty. But now with that 1-game series, it's do or die. I mean, there's no, especially with that offense, you can't give up early opportunities to that offense.
All right, sounds good. We'll wait Friday night. Hopefully it gets here sooner rather than later. I wish it were like right now, but that's the way it goes. Friday night, 7:30, game time here at the CQ Arena, March 16th. Eastern Conference Final. Milwaukee comes to town to take on the Blast. For Andrew Primrose, Paul Mittermeier, I'm Gary Stein, and the rest of our crew tonight, thank you so much. Once again, the final. Blast 5, the Knights 4. The Blast continue on, and the Knights season is over. We'll see you Friday night when the Milwaukee Wave come to town.